Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I just want to say before I start today's video that I am using my proper microphone today, but I haven't actually done this before with my video, like officially. So if the audio is different, if it's too quiet, if it's too loud, if it's more annoying, do let me know. It should be better logically, but you know, technology isn't always the bestest of friends with me, so it might be a bit of a challenge. But I really wanted to attempt to use my proper microphone because honestly, what's the point in having one if you're not going to use it? I have been using my phone audio for so long, literally like 3 years nearly. Well, actually no, it's probably longer than that. Around 3 years. So I thought we would use my proper microphone today because I have it and I use it for, you know, streaming, but I don't ever use it in my videos, which is stupid. But anyway, so we are building a custom build today. This is for another simmer. This person requested a, like, I want to call it like a cabin, but let's be real, it's like absolutely massive, so it's not a cabin. But in the UK, we don't really have builds like this. I mean, I wish we did. Can you imagine how stunning this would be? But no, it's kind of like a lodge type thing. I'm not really sure what you want to call it, but it's definitely very Christmas vibes, which it isn't, but it is. It's definitely just like a really cute open lodge. I wanted to make this as very like vacation home-esque as possible, and especially because we're going into the winter months, I really wanted to kind of essence that kind of like, I don't know, crisp wintry vibe. It's not necessarily wintry, of course you could go here in summer, but I kind of had like a vision of sort of like a ski holiday sort of thing, although this is placed in Willow Creek because it is on a 50 by 50 and the lighting of this lot is particularly wonderful, so that is why we're doing that. But I really like it. I think it turned out really nice. I definitely wanted to have like a modernized feel to it. I really wanted there to be like a big glass window in the front. So this curve that I did add in the front does have like a massive glass element to it, which I think turned out really nice. And honestly, if I was staying there, that would be glorious. Can you imagine? But no, this isn't a house. It is like a big rental place, and I really like how it looks. I think that it's definitely very unusual in comparison to the stuff I'm used to making, which is quite nice for a change. I know you guys love my apartments, and that means the world to me, and to be honest, apartments are my favorite thing ever. But you know, it's quite nice to do something a little bit different for a change. So I did decide to go for this very big glass open section at the front, which I just explained. It's funny, when you don't do voiceovers for like a couple of days, you have to like get back into the swing of things, because talking to yourself for like 26 and a bit minutes is a long time. And I have so much to say, but trying to encompass that in that amount of time and remembering everything as you go along and it's sped up is quite challenging. I say this build probably took me like 2 days, maybe 3 days, although at the time I was trying to do like a billion things at once, so it probably took me longer than it would normally. But it was a really fun build, and I was a little bit apprehensive to do this build. The customer is wonderful, she is lovely, the other simmer is oh joy. So I hope that you're enjoying the speed build. I really enjoyed building it, but I was a little bit, not nervous, that's the wrong word, but I don't usually do this style build very often, so it's definitely more of like a not trial and error, that's the wrong word again, but something that I'm not used to doing. So it's a little bit more on the, oh gosh, I hope I can do a good job side of things. But she really loves it, so that's the main thing, and I really enjoy building it, so that's also a plus. But yeah, it's a really fun build to make, and I did decide to build in Willow Creek just because it's quite a big open lot, and the person wanted it on a 50 by 50, I think. I can't actually remember, but I did decide to build it on a 50 by 50, and I love this lot. I think it's really good for these big builds. I think when it comes to like recording content, this particular lot's really good just because it's got really good lighting. It's a really big lot, and there's not a lot of like trees that make it dark, because some of the lots make everything a little bit dark, and especially in Copperdale. I think Copperdale's one of my favourite worlds, to be honest. I think it's stunning. I love that we've got like a pier and we've got, you know, rides and stuff. I think it's such a cool element to high school years. However, the lighting is not my best friend, whereas Willow Creek has brilliant lighting, so I think that's just a really nice like added section to it. Also, let me know if the speed build is too fast or too slow. It seems really slow to me today. It could just be me. Is it my recording? No, it is just that speed. Honestly, I think when you have like a couple of days without recording, by that I mean 3, I don't know, I have to get myself back into the zone of recording. It's a bit like when you come home from school when you're a kid, and it's like you're not necessarily like a different version of yourself, but you kind of are. Where you're like, you know, when you're in school you're one type of person, and when you're home obviously you're more relaxed and you're more yourself. I think it's a bit like that with recording. Not that I'm more or less relaxed, just I have to put on like this talkative persona, and I'm not a talkative person usually, unless it's something I'm passionate about, like Sims. That's why I could talk forever about it. But I think when you sit for so long talking to yourself, it can get a bit scary knowing that thousands of people will hear you. So, loving life. But yeah, so anyway, we are working on the exterior. I did decide to include all of these rocks around the outside. I think they're from one of the kits, but honestly, I cannot remember which one. The one that's got a lot of like pool items. I can't remember what it's called, so I do apologise. But these are really cool. They also have like a waterfall version in debug, which I didn't include, which I probably should have, to be honest, thinking about it, but it wasn't really like a waterfall kind of vibe. It was more like, you know, a skiing kind of holiday sort of envisaged in my mind anyway. But I did decide to make it quite a cute like driveway area. One of the edges doesn't actually go anywhere, which is kind of silly, which I probably should have designed a little bit better, and if I was to redo it then I probably would add a section around there. But I really didn't want there to be like a back garden necessarily. I wanted the front of the place to be the place that everyone went to sit down, so I did include at the end a like bonfire pit area so they could sit at the front. I thought that kind of added like an extra element of the build. I didn't really want there to be like a big back garden because it just didn't really feel realistic. I kind of felt like it would be surrounded by rocks and they'd kind of spend their time at the front of the property, like, you know, hanging out and having bonfires and roasting marshmallows and such. Side note, anyone else dislike marshmallows? I'm vegetarian, so I can't have marshmallows because they've got gelatin in them or something. I don't know. I've never liked marshmallows, but I've always loved the idea of like s'mores and that kind of thing. But again, in the UK we don't really have that. I mean, obviously anyone can do that anywhere, but you know, it's not really like a yearly thing that we do here. I've never actually had a s'more, which is kind of sad. But no, I don't really like marshmallows, but I wish I did. Anyway, we're decorating the front of the property. I decided to add lots of greenery and some trees just to make it feel a bit more woodland-esque. I'm definitely surrounded by woodlands where I am. I live in the countryside, but by the beach as well, kind of, and we have a lot of like big old trees, and I really love that aesthetic. I know it's not an aesthetic, it's just nature, but you know, I like that sort of vibe. I think that that's like really peaceful, and I really wanted this build to feel very peaceful and like, you know, like a real holiday. I didn't really want it to be like a holiday vacation. I'm doing air quotes, not that you can see. I want it to feel very like cute and cozy and just somewhere that everyone could just, you know, chill out. And I guess it is a winter venue, but it's not necessarily. It's just kind of like, you know, a ski lot kind of thing, which is kind of ironic. I don't think I include anything to do with skiing. But I also kind of interpreted it as, obviously it is a rental, but I was trying to think, what would that mean to me? Because obviously in the UK, our rental buildings are definitely far from what this is, which I wish they looked like this, but no, alas, they do not. But I really wanted them to feel just very like, a bit like a hotel, but also not. So I did include a gym on the downstairs. We do have a yoga room, which I thought was really fun. We do have a little bar as well, so it definitely had like a hotel kind of vibe to it. I know it's not a hotel, it's a rental, but you know, I want it to feel very vacation vibe, and I thought that kind of fit the bill. So anywho, we are now working on the exterior of the back of the house. Now normally I don't normally put into like loads of effort into the back of the house, and to be honest I didn't put too much effort into the back of this one, not because I didn't want to, I just didn't really feel like it needed it necessarily. I think the front of the house is primarily where they're going to spend the most time, so adding too much at the back of the house I felt kind of like was a bit overkill, so I decided not to. But I really like it. I think that the whole aesthetic of this place is really pretty, and I was a bit nervous, to be honest, when I started adding in the curves, because the curves are gorgeous to look at, but to build in they are not so pretty. Trying to build in a curved area is not the easiest of things, and it's something that I struggle with personally. I know a lot of other people do as well, but anyone who's good at curved wall buildings, like, I praise you to don't know where, somewhere good. But I'm just not good at curved walls, and I find it really difficult to do the interior on curved buildings, just because you cannot actually curve, like say you want to put down a counter, you can't put the counter on a curve, you have to put it on like a straight, on flat, and it doesn't work. Everything just looks strange. So that is something that I wish we had, was like the ability to actually like curve the counters around in the curved wall. I don't see how that would be too challenging, but I guess maybe it is, because we do have specific windows and doors for curved walls, and based on the the curviness of the curve. I don't know what the specific word would be, but yeah, I definitely think that that would be a good added element, because it does sway me away from building with curves when we don't have the ability to place objects how we want them to look. So I did have to do a little bit of fiddling around to make sure that it worked. I also decided to include like a big open space on the downstairs so that you can look from the second floor down to the bottom floor, not the bottom floor, but like the middle floor. There's 3 floors, so we've got a basement level, which technically is the ground floor, which is where all of the sporty stuff on the bar is, and then we have the main floor, which you still have to go up the steps to, which is like the main living space, and then we have the top floor, which is all the bedrooms. So on the middle floor, where all of the, you know, what's it called, the kitchen and the lounge and all what we're currently looking at on screen, that is the open area, but from upstairs you can look down into it, which I thought was quite cute. It definitely gave me like more classic cabin vibes, and I really love that. Also, I apologise if my head turns away from the mic slightly. There's like tiny little fruit flies everywhere at the minute. Every time I go anywhere, I don't know whether it's just a thing in Wales right now, there's fruit flies everywhere. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't even well, I do have fruit somewhere. I have fruit in the fridge, but like it's not going to come from the fridge. I don't know where they're coming from. Every time me and my fiance go out for like date nights, they're everywhere in the restaurant. I'm like, why is there just so many fruit flies at the moment? So if I do at any point like stop talking for a second, it's because they're right in my face and I keep jumping. Anyway, so we are now working on the wallpapering for the upstairs, because I did decide to redo it, and honestly I redid it a couple of times. We're now working on the interior. This is of course the downstairs. This is like the main living space, and it definitely was so fun to furnish. This person had all of the packs. It was really fun to not have to like pack restrict. I find that's the most difficult thing for me personally when it comes to building for other players, is when you have to pack restrict. I find that really challenging, not because I can't build with the items that they have, it's just I still have all of them in my game, so when I find something I'm like, oh that would work, and I'm like, oh they don't own that pack, which I know we can filter by packs now, and we can like, you know, click which ones we want to play with, but I'm really scared to do that because someone said that it glitched for them and then it didn't work, and I don't want to lose my packs, you know. So I kind of just hope and like wing it and hope that it, you know, goes well. But sometimes I definitely do still include some items that they do not own. But this person had all of the packs. It was a lot of fun to build with and not worry. But I really like this particular room. I think it's really cute, and this is the room that is like open from above, so everyone can look down into the lounge, and I think that's a really nice element. The person who this build is for really wanted that added to the build, and I was a bit like, oh gosh, how am I going to do that? I know I've done it in the past, but you know, I think when you don't do something for a little while, it takes a minute to get back into knowing how to do something. And sometimes when you try and do like an open hole in the floor, it can be a bit complicated, because if you add like a fence or a wall, if you delete the fence or the wall, even just to, you know, rearrange slightly, then it fills the whole floor up again, and then you can't actually have like the big gap in the floor like you've already designed. It's just really complicated. It shouldn't be, and it isn't all the time, but just sometimes it is. I am now just doing the curtains. I did decide to include the curtains everywhere because I was just really wanting there to be like just a cute kind of like open space, but I really wanted it to feel homely as well. And before I get called out on it for the billionth time, homely in Britain means cute and cozy, just like homey means in the USA. I've had so many people comment going, homely means like gross and disgusting. I'm like, girl, in Britain, homely means cute and cozy, so therefore I shall say cute and cozy. Each to their own. I know different places say different things, but that is what we call it here, so that is just what I say. But yeah, so we are just decorating the dining room. Sorry, I had to cut the audio then. My microphone went a bit weird. So we're now just working on the dining room. I did have a little bit of a struggle with the wall art because I didn't really know what colour scheme to go with, and I really like these old-fashioned kind of like, I don't know, 60s, 50s style. I guess they're more 50s and 60s, but I don't know, I just really like that sort of like aesthetic, and I think it looked really nice this particular room, so I did go for that. I did also include quite a lot of clutter on the table because I thought perhaps kids would stay here. I didn't really want to make it too personalised, of course, because it is a rental place, so they wouldn't have loads of personal items, but I thought they'd have some stuff, and I was kind of imagining that perhaps there were a family who had maybe just left, maybe they weren't like, you know, currently living there, because I think it would be a lot more messy if they were there. I didn't have a particular family in mind. I just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of had like a place. I wanted there to be enough beds for everybody and have children's rooms and baby rooms and, you know, adults, so that everyone could have some space. The only thing I'm not sure about is whether these sinks are functional. If they're not, I do apologize. This is up on my gallery if you guys would like to play in it. The only thing I forgot to play test was these sinks, so yeah, hopefully they work, but they might not because they are raised up, but I thought they look really pretty and I really like how it looks, so let's hope that they work, but I'm not too sure, so that is the only thing you'd have to check if you did download it, but it is available on my gallery for everybody. And yeah, so we are now just finishing some of the bathrooms downstairs, and then we will move on to the next room. I think we're moving on to the kitchen, I do believe. I did have a little bit of struggle with the kitchen, so I recorded the kitchen fortunately before I went offline, because I was recording this over like 2 or 3 days, and before I went offline I did save the build into my gallery. Now I don't know whether it was just a glitch at the time, but when I when I re-entered the game the next day, all of the kitchen, all of the stuff I'd done had been deleted, which is a nightmare, but fortunately I had saved it to my library, so that was good. But yeah, I lost literally everything that I'd done, so everything that you're seeing was like fortunately recovered. So I think maybe this clip or the next clip was the next day after I like panicked and thought, oh my gosh, I've lost everything, but no, alas, we did have it, it was fine. But it was a little bit of a oh my gosh, what is happening moment. But yeah, so we are just working on the kitchen now. Same principle with the kitchen. I want it to be very open plan. I want it to feel very, again, homely, very like cute and cozy, and just very, I don't know, just a nice space to be. I think I was kind of imagining when not that it's the same, but when I went abroad to Spain when I was little, and staying in like a villa, and that kind of like that nice feeling when you wake up in the morning, you can go downstairs and you've got like a nice kitchen to make breakfast in, and it's just like you feel like you're on holiday, you know. I really wanted to kind of capture that essence, but I also wanted it to be a lot of like kids stuff, so it felt like someone was like, you know, actively staying here. So it did include some breakfast stuff and some shopping bags, because I thought that was quite cute, and you know, added like an extra element of realism, so that is where that was coming from. So we're now working on the dining room. We do have 2 big dining rooms because I was kind of imagining that perhaps sometimes they could eat all together in the kitchen, and then maybe they could have like, you know, a bigger space for, maybe they were going there for Christmas or like a specific event, or Winterfest I should say. And I wanted there to be 2 spaces, so one was like less fancy and one was a bit more of like an occasional room, but this one is more like, you know, the chill room that everyone kind of uses on the general basis, which I thought looked really nice. And I really like it, not gonna lie. I just think this whole build is just really fun, and it was really nice to do something completely different. I'm really hoping that the audio is working, otherwise I would have spent currently like 20 minutes just talking to myself for no reason. Honestly, I have no idea what it sounds like. I have tested it a couple of times, but I'm really hoping that it's working properly. It looks like it is, but last time I recorded it, it sounded like a robot, so I was like, love my life. Trying to do audio, for some reason audio is probably the hardest the hardest part of content creating, in my opinion. Speed build recording is easy enough as long as, you know, you're fairly quick at it. Obviously you can speed it up as fast as you want, but I'm quite a quick builder now because I've done this for like, you know, many years. But I think the hardest part as a content creator is the audio, and I'm really hoping that it's working okay. I do sway away from using the audio just because I'm never sure whether it's working properly, whether it's a me problem and me not very good at technology, but to be honest, I think I'm pretty good at it. I don't give myself enough credit when it comes to technology. I really hope that you can't hear the traffic, because I guess that'll be a bonus about including this microphone instead of using my phone. That hopefully it should be at least dialed down a bit, because whenever I go to record you can always hear all of the traffic, which is a nightmare. I don't know why. I guess because I record quite late in the, not in the day necessarily, but it's like 3:45 at the moment, and obviously all of like the schools and people from work, although they probably shouldn't be finishing work yet, but anyway, it's just quite busy, so I really hope that it's not too noisy for you. Hopefully you can't hear anything at all, but I highly doubt it's silent, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on, we're working on the upstairs. I really like this room. This is the fancy master bedroom with a big glass room. I was really unsure how to kind of like make this a bit more private. To be honest, I don't think I managed to. I think I do add curtains, but honestly I can't remember specifically, but I really like how it looks. I love this open glass space. I think that it's just like really stunning, and I just really like it. So I didn't include too much in that room because I really wanted it to feel very luxurious. I did include a coffee pot, I think, so it was a bit more like a hotel, and they had some, like, you know, I didn't include a mini bar, but I probably should have. I should have included a mini fridge, but I was saying actually to my dad yesterday, we were talking about hotels because me and my fiance and I should say, are going away in a couple of days for just to get away really, kind of for our 7-year anniversary together, which is insane that we've been together that long, makes me feel old. But they don't include mini fridges in hotels anymore for some reason. Not where we go anyway, which is still, it's a really nice hotel, so you'd think that they would include it, but they don't for some reason. But they seem to include like ironing boards and stuff like that, but they don't include mini fridges, which is strange. But I mean, it's probably a good thing because one, probably people don't eat from them, and then probably the food goes bad because it's so expensive. And God knows, I guess maybe these days you can't tell if someone's like contaminated or something. Maybe that's like health and safety reasons. I don't know, but I forgot to include a mini fridge, was the long-winded story for that. But moving on, we're working on the kiddies room. I wanted to make sure that there were like beds for every kind of age range. I guess we don't really have like a teen room necessarily, but you know, anyone could have this room. It's not necessarily a kid's room, but I mean, there are a lot of good toys in here. But I really wanted to feel very like just safe and a nice space. I think when you go abroad, it definitely is a priority for me, at least, that, you know, if not that I have children, but if I did, that they were safe and I felt that they were safe in the space. And I think, you know, when I was younger, it was definitely a key element for my parents that I was safe and, you know, the room wasn't in any way unclean or, you know, dangerous. I remember once when I was younger, we went to stay only like 2 hours away from where we live, because my uncle used to live there, and we were staying in a hotel, and under the bed there were tablets. I was like 3 years old. My mum was like going mad. I don't know whether they were tablets, but she thought they might have been, and I could have eaten them. Could you imagine? Not that I was that stupid when I was 3, but you know, if you had like a crawling baby, that would be so dangerous. But regardless, they shouldn't have them, even for an adult. I mean, that's terrible. So yeah, that happened. But that's what I was kind of thinking of, you know, just making sure the space felt very clean and tidy and just very, I guess just, again, homely is the best word I can describe it, or homey if you are American. But yes, this is the nursery that we're now working on. I really think this room is adorable. I really, really like this room. I didn't really know how to fill it because it is quite a big space, but I thought it was quite a nice room to put the nursery in. Just it felt very like open and spacious, and these wardrobes are honestly adorable. They're from one of the new kits. They're from the Grange Mudroom. I did have a giveaway on Instagram for it, so congrats to the person who won that, because they won 2 of the giveaways, which is a complete coincidence, but that must have made that person's day. But yeah, also, while we're talking about giveaways, I do have a giveaway over on my Instagram account currently for the Adventure Awaits expansion pack, which is out on the 2nd of October. I will be announcing the giveaway winner on that day as well, because I will not get the code until that day. It is sponsored by EA as well, so big thank you to them. Not this video, but the pack giveaway is. And yeah, I'm excited to see who wins it. I really love doing giveaways, honestly. It's like my favourite thing about being a content creator, is being able to give back to you guys, and the fact that I'm in the creator network and they like give me a code to give to you guys is still mind-blowing to me. Like, I know I've worked really hard for where I've got to, but it's just still so incredible to me that I'm in that position after 3 years of doing this, which is insane. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm just so grateful, and I really want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been so supportive. There's been a lot of hate over the last 3 years, and I think the world is such a dark place at the moment, but I've got so many lovely people in my little community, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's come in to my community from one of my most popular videos, which is on like 111,000 views now, which is like mind-blowing to me. I know that's not a lot for like big YouTubers, but for someone who's like, you know, a little old me in the corner of Wales, that is a big deal. So just a huge thank you to everyone who has supported me and just been really lovely along the way, and to the people who have got custom builds of me and always loved them. I don't think I've ever had bad feedback from a custom build, maybe like twice ever in like hundreds, but like generally speaking, everyone's always like, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I love that you guys love them, and I'm just honoured that I get to create for you and you like what I do, and you're all so lovely, so I just want to wish you all a wonderful day. But we are coming to the end of the video. This is the final floor, this is the bottom floor, so it did include some like spa stuff as well. We do have a little gym, we've got a bar, and we've got like a yoga room, which I thought was really pretty. I think that this whole building is just so fun for like a getaway. And I was kind of imagining like my fitness sims who are into, you know, working out, and they still have a space to do that even though they're on holiday, and it's just a really nice space. I suppose I would kind of imagine this in Granite Falls primarily, but I'm not really sure whether there is a 50 by 50 lot. I'm not 100%, although I think there might be. Maybe it's a 40 by 30. I'm really not too sure, I could be very wrong, but yes. But with that being said, I am going to end the voiceover here today, guys. Let's hope this doesn't sound robotic, otherwise I'm going to cry because I've just talked for half an hour for nothing. But hopefully it sounds better than usual. Let me know if the volume is too high, too low, whether you can hear the background sounds, if it's more annoying, whether my voice is more clicky because I'm talking to a proper microphone. I don't know, it's all trial and error. But a huge thank you to the person who asked for this build of me. I am so glad that you love it. I'm wishing you a wonderful day. I hope that you're enjoying playing in the build. Thank you to everyone for supporting my content and watching all my videos. I will be back tomorrow with another speed build, but I won't be here on Thursday or Friday because I am going away, so I won't be here until Monday. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, but I won't be back until Monday for another build. Unless I can speed build really fast, but I probably won't be able to. But I really appreciate all of your love and support. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, turn on the notification bell. It really helps out my channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for a brand new speed build. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.